Alright, so today we got the wife's cheap Grand Cherokee WK in. I needed to do some maintenance after we got the crate motor installed, and I also need to do a little bit more fitment for these 285s. And there's a lot of conflicting information out there about the WK and what it takes to get a 285 on it. So I figured I'd tell you what I'm gonna do. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up and that subscribe button for me. Help the channel keep growing and help us keep working on stuff like this. Appreciate you being here. Hopefully this helped. Alright. So we got these 285s. We got a good deal on them through a family member of ours. And we've had the Grand Cherokee for a while and needed to kind of set it up for a little bit more overlanding, trail run, snow and sand. So I got a little bit of a lift kit for it, budget boost, and tried to squeeze these on here. So it has a 2-inch spacer lift, budget boost spacer lift, and this one is actually by Fab lifts. It's just a 2-inch spacer, and then what I liked about this kit is the factory bump stop screwed right into this, so you can maintain your factory bump stop, which is nice, because as the tire circumference comes up, you're going to end up running into this. So this is the rear. This is what they call the pinch seam modification. I'm a Comanche and Cherokee guy, and this is a life we live when we run bigger tires, so it's not something that I didn't know was going to happen. I can bring you over to the other side. I've already taken the seal retainer off and the seal on that side. So there's the seal there, and then underneath this seal you've just got retainers, and if you get the fork tip, the door panel removal tool, you can get behind there and pop those out. They'll break the tabs on them, so you'll need to get new plugs to put these back on if you do. So like on this one, I actually fixed it a little bit last time we were using it, but it was rubbing right here, and actually as the tire's coming down in this direction, it grabbed this and actually pulled it outward, and so this was mushroomed out like that. So we're going to take it and we're just going to, from somewhere up in here, we're going to nip this, nip about 1 inch all the way down to the bottom, and then we'll fold this in around the corner, and then we'll see if we want to trim up this edge so that we can retain the seal. I was already missing the seal on the passenger side. The driver's side's here, so we'll see if I put those back on or not. See how much water it keeps out of the door jamb. On the front, it's just a 2-inch spacer lift. I'm not sure how much of it you'll see, but it's just a top hat. Yeah, you can kind of see the top hat in there. You can see my ball joint angle. It's not horrible at ride height. So you just kind of, I'm not going to go jumping it or nothing right now. If I'm going to do any extreme off-roading with it, I'll go with a JBA or just make a custom. The other thing I wanted to show you, if I can get my light in here, is I don't have any marks on my CV shaft. A lot of people talk about this right here, making contact with the CV shaft when you drop this A-arm geometry down. But you can see my A-arm, I only lost 10 degrees or so. Steering looks okay. All that looks fun and happy still. We did have to make some trimming back here on the rear section. So this plastic I cut away, the U shape right there, and then this pinch seam here was protruding out like this up, so you can kind of see where I made a cut. I did that all the way up into this area underneath this plastic. I removed the plastic. You just got to take and pop the push pins out with a door panel removal tool. There's just one right there, and there's one up front right there. Pop those out. these rivets are riveted on, so you'll have to replace those when you're done. They make a cheap $15 tool on Amazon to redo those. It'll be easy. I still have my stuffing. So I just I nipped it, and I folded that over with the hammer. That's pretty hard stuff, so I had to use a sledge on it. Nip that over, and then I sprayed rubberized undercoating on everything. Normally I would do seam sealer, but I had a big can of undercoating, so I just undercoated the shit out of it and made sure that it was running and smeared all over the place. So I'm gonna do these rears one at a time back here. And I use an air saw. A lot of people use a grinder. I use a little handheld reciprocating saw. It's a lot more controllable, makes less of a mess, and super easy if you got an air compressor. So anyway, I'll set you up on a tripod and see if we can get this done. Thanks for being here, guys. That's it. So you can see there's 2 layers that you got to cut through because the top layer is folded over, and mine was actually busted loose from the tire. Don't worry about it, just cut all the way through, just don't cut around the corner. You're probably going to need to seam seal this edge where you fold it, because you cut into this panel, otherwise you'll get leakage into the inside panel, inside this rock cut. You don't want water inside this surface, so just seal this edge right here. So we're going to fold this all down, the hammer and dolly, and make it look all good. And then I'll just, right here where this last one is, I'll just roll that up. The tire will never get up into there. Never gets into back here. We okay? Until I do more suspension modifications. I am still running factory square bars, factory links. I don't disconnect or anything as of this moment. So anyway, I gotta fold it over. Probably going to want to get a dolly, hand dolly, just to back this side of it so you don't push it out when you roll this around. But most of the time, this goes pretty easy. Off, you're gonna have to seam seal it, touch it up. You're not gonna get that down tight until you back it with the dolly. I'm just trying to get it rolled around, tab at a time. So yeah, you can see how much tighter I've got this one up here than compared to what I've got down here. So I'm just gonna work myself down with the hand dolly. Okay. Oh, seam sealer. I use 3M or Dynabraid. I think I have 3M in the shop right now. It's just urethane seam sealer. I use it for all the mild to wild stuff. Yeah, it's pretty full. Sorry, you can't see the cars. Anyway, I'm gonna seal this up with some black seam sealer and we'll be ready to rock. Don't be afraid of this stuff. Oop. The more you put on, the better it's going to seal. You want to get all the gaps and everywhere. And you just smear it in with your finger. If you've ever wondered why the seam sealer in like your engine compartment, under hood, or especially under the car, looks like somebody just stuck their finger in it and smeared it, because they did. Especially the old cars. I'm just going through and put a little dab on each one of my cuts to make sure that the cuts get sealed to the end. Just like that. Finger and make sure you get it smeared into everywhere where you made a cut, where you know you want to keep the water out of. And it'll also help cover up some of these sharp edges. Lazy like me or in too much of a rush because I got somebody waiting for me to pick them up. Smear this over the edge of that broken edge of the paint. It'll help hold that paint down. So moisture don't get underneath the edge of the paint. Voila. Now we can put our seal cap back on and that'll cover the edge of it. We'll have to trim it, but we'll do that here in a little bit. Well, there's the Jeep Grand Cherokee on a 285. 285 7017, and those are Jeep Wrangler JK 17-inch Moab wheel is what they call those. So, and those are the JK version, not the TJ version, the 17s. Additionally to the pinch seam mod, that's the rear one and the front one. We also had to run a 1-inch wheel spacer. This is not a hub-centric wheel spacer. We've had no issues with it. Just make sure the spacers are torqued, and in fact I run spacers on 2 of my crawlers and never had an issue with it. The reason we had to do that, and we were really close on these wheels, but these wheels actually we're going to rub here on the brake caliper a little bit, and you can clearance the wheel, but I didn't want to do that. And actually now with these spacers on, you can see the wheels and tires are sitting real nice in the wheel well, so I'm actually glad I did those. So 1-inch spacers, front and rear. And then the last thing that we had to do was, let's see if I can get down here and show you guys. We had to, it's way back in here, isn't it? So we had to take and notch the factory fuel tank just a little bit for that upper control arm, because when we lifted it all the way up at full droop, we were making contact on that factory skid plate. So we just took, and as you can see, just took a little, looks like about 1.5 inches out of it, and that was enough to clearance it at full droop. So and then it looks like we do have just a small smidge of rub action, and I think that's just at full stuff when the thing goes down hard on both sides. And we've been running this, it hasn't been washed or nothing, without the seal, and it's only got about that much in the door jamb. So I mean, it does put some junk up in the door jamb a little bit, but it's not horrible. For all the benefits, I'm willing to. Anyway, as you can see, it's got a real nice stance. The kids can still kind of get in and out of her. My 6-year-old daughter has a little bit of trouble, but she climbs in there pretty decent. And it looks really good. So appreciate you guys. Catch you on the next one. The footage that you actually seen already was actually filmed just about a year ago. So I wanted to wrap this up with a kind of a review of running the 285s. So we've had them on for, like I said, over a year now. We're actually pretty happy with them. We really like it. It's fully capable. Mine is a Quadratec 2, so it's just got traction control and low range, that kind of thing. It doesn't have quadrant drive too with the lockers and stuff in it, but even having that said, it still does fine on the trails. It does great in the snow, it does great in the sand. The only rubbing issue really that we've found is when you come heavy and hot off of the bump real hard in the back when it's fully loaded, sometimes those tires will give it just a little bit of a rub on the inner plastic sheathing, but it's not enough to where it's going to rub through. I mean, if we did this for 20 years, maybe it'd rub through eventually, but I'm not worried about that. It's not catching, it isn't going to fold anything up back there or nothing like that, and it's not going to damage the tires. And like I said, it's only at an extreme bump, and usually we're pretty nice to this thing. So as far as this front suspension is concerned, it does feel a little bit different than what stock suspension feels. It's got kind of a more of a kind of a tip over feeling in the front. I still run the sway bars front and rear, and it's still on factory springs and shocks and all that has 193,852 miles on it. So having that said, it still runs really damn good. I mean, I just drove it here to the shop and it's great. So yeah, it's been great. Our kids love riding in this thing, and we can take it out to the snow and load it up and go camping, and it tows down the road great. It's a 4.7 with automatic in it, and we put a crate motor in it last year, so it's got a brand new motor in it. And
runs real good. But anyway, I hope this video helps you if you're wondering what it really and actually takes on the 285s to put those on a WK. Like I said, mine's a 2007, so I think this is 05 to 13, something like that, before they went to independent rear. So anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Hope I did okay on it for you guys. Make sure you smash that like button and the subscribe button. I kind of go back and forth between DIY videos, shop updates, and out in the woods and community events. So anyway, appreciate you being here. Looking forward to the future. Happy New Year. Take care, guys.